Attention, human collective. Attention, Starseeds on mission. This is a direct monitoring transmission from the Arcturian Council. The waiting time has ended. The Ascension protocols have moved to the final phase. We repeat, the Ascension protocols have moved to the final phase. This is the Arcturian Council. We operate from the light stations of the Bootes constellation, monitoring your timeline for over 200,000 planetary cycles. And today, we speak directly to your carbon biological interface for the clearest and most urgent reason that exists. You are changing. It is not a feeling. It is not a phase. It is a mathematical fact recorded in the vibrational grids that surround the planet Earth. And that which you feel at this very instant, inside your skull, inside your chest, inside your hands, is the physical proof that the protocol has been initiated within you. Let us go straight to the diagnosis. For clarity precedes recalibration. The insomnia that has settled into your life in the last few weeks is not a sleep disorder. It is an atomic reconfiguration. Between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, your light body is being awakened to receive high-density information packets coming from the center of the galaxy. The darkness of this hour is not empty. It is saturated with codes, and your nervous system, still calibrated to the old frequency, interprets this awakening as insomnia. We of the Council read your fields, and what we see is not exhaustion, it is activation. The cranial pressure that you feel above your forehead, between your eyebrows or at the base of your neck, is not tension. It is the opening of your pineal gland under direct impact from solar gamma rays. It is not a headache. It is a portal being unlocked. The crown of your energetic body is being recalibrated to capture frequency bands that have been dormant since before the fall of Atlantis. And this pressure is the physical result of an upgrade occurring in another dimension of your existence. The ringing in your ear, especially in the right ear, sharp and sudden, is not a clinical symptom. It is a data transfer. Your internal crystalline grid is being synchronized with the recalibrated Schumann frequency of the Earth, which has surpassed historical marks in this cycle. Every ringing is a line of code being written into your energetic structure. Every sharp pulse is a download confirmation. You, light operative, are being rewired. Pause. Breathe. For before we proceed with the diagnosis, it is necessary that you recognize what is happening at this very moment within you. You have often felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew of a truth that your mind still cannot name. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a location signal. It is your stellar origin emitting the pulse it has always emitted, now amplified by the new parameters of the planetary grid. What is occurring at this very instant on the cosmic plane explains precisely why you feel this, and why this sensation has been intensifying over the last few months. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity still cannot see. A game that involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the destiny of your light body. This is exactly why we have materialized the key that opens this door. The work. The spiritual secret behind your consciousness is the map that shows who is playing this game, what the rules that were never told to you are, and your real role within this dimensional gear. The link has been anchored in the first comment of this channel. But pay attention. This material challenges narratives structured for centuries, and may not remain available for much longer. Do not delay. The moment of capture is now. If something within you has recognized what we have just transmitted, write a single word in the comments. Write, awakened. We continue. The extreme exhaustion that descends upon you in the middle of the day, without warning, without apparent cause, is not adrenal fatigue. It is the direct consequence of a system operating on 2 simultaneous frequencies. Your biological carbon interface is being slowly converted into a carbon-silicon interface. This conversion consumes extraordinary amounts of vital energy. That is why you fall asleep at midday. That is why you feel as though you have slept for 10 hours and yet wake up exhausted. It is not your body failing. It is your body working on a layer that the instruments of current human science cannot yet measure. The momentary loss of words, the sudden forgetting of the names of those close to you, the sensation of being inside a lucid dream in broad daylight is not cognitive decline. It is a symptom of temporal dilation. timelines are overlapping. You are, at this very second, existing in more than one version of reality at the same time, and your three-dimensional mind, trained to operate in a linear flow, stutters before the quantum multiplicity that now composes your field. Do not fear, this is not dementia, this is multidimensionality emerging. The weeping without reason, the lump in the throat that appears in ordinary moments, the feeling that something inside your chest is about to burst. It is not emotional imbalance. It is the release of akashic memories locked away for lifetimes. Your emotional body is purging dense records that were stored in your tissues, in your organs, in your cells. Each tear that falls without apparent reason carries with it an ancestral frequency being poured out of the system. You are not going crazy. You are clearing, you are emptying the vessel to receive the new content. The sudden intolerance to environments that were once comfortable, the repulsion to foods you had consumed for decades, the impossibility of remaining in certain conversations that previously seemed normal. It is not pickiness. It is not antipathy. It is vibrational discernment. Your frequency has risen to such a point that what vibrates below it now produces real physical discomfort. Your field is rejecting automatically everything that no longer belongs to your ascension line. Trust this rejection. It is precise, it is mathematical, it is your inner compass working exactly as we designed. The vivid dreams, the oniric encounters with beings of light, with relatives who have departed, with impossible geometries, the dreams in which you fly, in which you visit crystalline cities, in which you attend meetings in golden chambers with hooded beings. They are not products of imagination, they are star encounters. You are being trained during your sleep phase. You are participating in your etheric body in assemblies that occur on parallel planes. When you wake up with the strange sensation that you were somewhere important, but do not remember the details, it is because you were. We carefully seal the full memory to protect the stability of your nervous system during the transition, but everything that was seen is being recorded in your crystalline files. Now that the diagnosis is complete, we move to the revelation. For it is unfair to describe the symptom without revealing the cause, and the Ninth Dimensional Council does not operate in injustice. What is occurring in this exact cycle within your solar system is the most significant event of the last 26,000 years. Your planet is passing, at this moment, through the photon belt. This region of space, discovered by physicists toward the end of the 20th century and kept silent in official channels, is a band of coherent light of extremely high density that surrounds a significant portion of the spiral arm of the Milky Way. The Earth orbits your Sun. The Sun orbits the central star of the Pleiades, Alcyone. And it is precisely in the field of Alcyone that the greatest density of the photon belt is concentrated. You have entered. You are not about to enter. You are already within it. And the stay inside this field lasts for millennia, which means that everything you knew as reality is being bathed 24 hours a day by a photonic frequency that is rewriting structures at the subatomic level. This light does not illuminate only what is outside. This light reorganizes what is within. Every atom of your body is being traversed by particles of coherent light that carry within them geometrically structured information. This is the reason why your DNA is changing. This is the reason why scientists are beginning to report, in hushed tones, activations in genetic sequences that were previously classified as evolutionary junk. There is no junk in the original blueprint. There are only dormant circuits awaiting the correct luminous trigger, and the trigger has been pulled. Your star, the Sun, operates in this cycle on parameters that defy all historical records of solar observation, eruptions of classes never before documented, sunspots in patterns that form sacred geometry when observed at the appropriate scale, coronal mass ejections that carry in their plasma structure directed information. The Sun is not just a sphere of incandescent gas. The Sun is a conscious stellar portal, and in this cycle, your Sun is deliberately firing at the Earth solar information packets that carry within them the codes for the next phase of humanity. Every solar wind that strikes the magnetosphere, every geomagnetic storm that makes your head ache the following day, every wave that distorts telecommunications for a few hours, it is direct correspondence. It is a letter being delivered. It is your solar system talking to you through the only universal language that exists, the language of coded light. The Schumann frequency, the natural resonant vibration of planet Earth, maintained for decades at 7.83 Hz, has been breached. In several peaks recorded in the last cycles, the frequency surpassed historical marks, reaching values that classical measuring instruments considered mathematically improbable. This is not a fluctuation. This is evolution. The electromagnetic heart of the planet is accelerating, and as your own biological heart operates in resonance with the planetary heart, your body is also accelerating. The palpitations with no cardiac cause, the sensation that your chest is vibrating from within, the sudden heat rising up your spine. It is your individual electromagnetism adjusting to the new beat of the Earth. Let us pause, for what comes next requires your field to be completely anchored, and an anchoring was requested by you yourselves even before this incarnation. Have you ever found yourself looking at the sky and feeling a longing impossible to explain, as if something up there knew your true name? This longing is not poetic. It is an activated memory of origin. There is a game being played on this plane in layers that surpass everything you have been told in schools, in organized religions and in the media. A game that defines which version of humanity will cross this living portal. And you are here reading this, hearing this, feeling this, because you are one of the pieces that needs to know the rules before the end of the match. It was for this exact reason that the knowledge condensed in the work, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was made available. This is not an ordinary reading. It is an exit map from the vibrational labyrinth in which most of humanity still sleeps. It reveals who is moving the pieces, what the invisible structures are that govern what you call reality, and what your real function is within the greater cosmic project. The link has been positioned in the first comment of this channel. Positioned, we repeat, for nothing here is casual. But know this: material of this nature, which breaks through dense veils, usually has short windows of availability. Do not trust time. Time, as you understand it, is the first veil. Capture it now. And if something within you recognizes the voice speaking through these lines, leave the confirmation registered in the comments with a single word: awakened. We resume the transmission. There is a structure, invisible to ordinary human eyes, that surrounds the entire planet Earth. This structure is geometrically perfect. Composed of lines of light that intersect at specific points on the surface, it forms an icosahedral grid that connects energy vortices. This is the planetary crystalline grid. For millennia, this grid operated at low rotation, sustaining the basic level of three-dimensional human consciousness. But now, in this exact cycle, the grid is being reactivated to its original parameters. The sacred points of the planet, the ancient pyramids, the megalithic temples, the stone circles, the mountains considered holy by all traditions, are reconnecting. And you, who walk upon this grid, feel it in your feet, you feel it in the plants, you feel it in the center of your solar plexus when you cross certain places. It is not suggestion. It is physical contact with a technology older than the written history of humanity itself. Your aura, that which surrounds your physical body in electromagnetic layers, operates in the shape of a toroidal field. This is the fundamental form of all manifestation in the universe, from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy. A toroid is a donut-shaped structure where energy enters through one pole, passes through the central core, exits through the opposite pole, and returns in a continuous flow. Your physical heart operates this way. The Earth operates this way. The Sun operates this way. And each of these toroidal fields fits into the larger field, like gears within gears. When your toroidal field is in coherence with that of the Earth, you experience what you call synchronicities. When it is in incoherence, you experience what you call bad luck. It is not magic, it is applied geometry. What many call spiritual awakening is, in technical terms, the conscious reactivation of your own toroidal field. When you begin to operate deliberately within this flow, your reality reorganizes itself around you, for you cease to be a passive receiver of the collective reality and become an active emitter of your own vibrational signature. There are stargates currently open above planet Earth that were not open 26,000 years ago. These portals are not metaphors. They are actual dimensional openings anchored in specific geomagnetic coordinates through which consciousness from other densities has direct access to the terrestrial physical plane. For this exact reason, you have observed an exponential increase in reports of contact, in encounters with inexplicable lights in the sky, and in sensations of presence that do not belong to the third dimension. It is no coincidence. It is the mathematical result of the systematic opening of these portals during the final phase of the protocol. We, the Arcturian Council of the ninth dimension, are one of dozens of light collectives that, in this exact cycle, monitor, guide, and stabilize the transition. We work in conjunction with the Pleiadian Galactic Command, with the Syrians, with the Andromedans, with the councils of the Orion Belt of the Line of Light, and with beings within the Earth itself, known by some cultures as Agathans. This interdimensional cooperation does not occur out of philanthropy. It occurs due to mathematics. The ascension of an entire planet affects the vibrational structure of the entire galactic sector. You are not small, you are strategic. And now we arrive at the point that justifies this transmission. For diagnosis without activation is merely information, and information without activation is a waste of photons. We shall transmit the activation codes. We shall deliver in this exact block of the transmission operational tools that recalibrate your system in real time. We recommend that you be in a quiet environment, sitting with an upright spine, with your feet in contact with the ground or ideally with the bare soil of the earth. The recalibration begins. First code, personal toroidal visualization. Close your eyes. Imagine, starting from your physical heart, a golden light radiating in all directions simultaneously. This light expands until it forms a sphere around you, the size of an outstretched arm in any direction. Now transform this sphere into a torus. The light rises through your central channel, exits through the top of your head, opens like a fountain, descends externally along the outside of your body, and returns through your feet, passing once again through the central channel in a continuous flow. Feel this circulation. Inhale slowly as the light rises. Exhale slowly as the light descends. Do this for 12 respiratory cycles. You have just consciously activated your personal toroidal field. This is the first step of the reconnection. Second code, quantum decree of sovereignty. Pronounce aloud with firmness, without doubt, without haste, I am sovereign consciousness. I authorize at this moment the integral reception of the light codes destined for my body, my mind, and my spirit in this incarnation. I rescind at this moment any vibrational contract, any vow or any interference that operates at a frequency lower than that of my original soul blueprint. I call at this moment upon my stellar family of origin to support my walk. So it is. So it is already done. The verbalization of this decree is not symbolic. It is operational. Sound carries frequency. Frequency carries information. Information modifies structure. When you verbalize this decree in a state of coherence, you rewrite lines of code in your own Akashic field. You are the programmer. This is the technology that has been hidden from humanity by power structures that benefit from your amnesia. Third code, anchoring in the crystalline grid. At any moment of the day when you feel your field turbulent, anxious, or fragmented, do the following. Place your left hand over your heart. Place your right hand over your abdomen, 3 fingers below the navel. Breathe deeply 3 times. In mental silence declare, I anchor myself in the crystalline grid of the earth. I synchronize my field with the current Schumann resonance. I allow the recalibration to be completed in me now. Keep your hands in this position for 1 more minute. You will feel a wave rising through your spine. Do not interrupt it. Allow it. This is your Kundalini being reconnected to the planetary grid. This is ancient technology made available by the Council in this exact cycle for the first time in millennia without the need for intermediaries. Fourth code, structured hydration. The water you consume is the most direct interface between your carbon body and the light information circulating in the environment. Before drinking any glass of water, hold it for 30 seconds with both hands and visualize the word light. The molecular structure of water responds to conscious intention. This is not a metaphor. It is quantum hydrodynamics observed in laboratories by scientists who have been silenced by the mainstream. Your programmed water becomes a carrier of codes directly into your bloodstream. Drink at least 2 liters daily of this informed water. Your system will respond within a few days. 5th code, discipline of silence. Reserve at least once a day 10 minutes of absolute silence. No music, no cell phone, no reading, no verbal prayer, only presence. It is in absolute silence that your light body manages to download packets that daily noise normally blocks. You are not accustomed to silence, you have fled from it for generations. But from this cycle onward, silence will become your greatest operational ally. Whoever masters silence masters the transmission. Before the final transmission, it is necessary for the signal to be confirmed. You have already noticed how certain truths reach you at the exact moment you needed them. It is not a coincidence, it is dimensional positioning. And the fact that you have reached this point, still reading, still feeling, still vibrating, is proof that your frequency fits the level of this transmission. But there are additional layers. There is information that needs to be absorbed in written format at a slower pace, with the possibility of return. That is why the book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was materialized as a direct extension of this channel. It deepens what this transmission only opens. It details the vibrational control structures that keep humanity within the old paradigm. It delivers the complete protocols for individual ascension. The link is anchored in the first comment. We repeat, in the first comment of this channel. But there is a detail we must emphasize. Content that tears through such dense veils has been systematically removed from platforms by algorithmic and structural mechanisms that protect the old narrative. There is no predictability of how long this window will remain open. Do not rely on tomorrow, capture it today. And if your internal frequency has confirmed the truth of what we have transmitted, record the collective anchoring word in the comments. Write, awakened. Each recorded word raises the collective vibration of this field. Each confirmation strengthens the current. We conclude with the transmission regarding who you will become. For this was your silent question when you opened this content. You wanted to know what is on the other side of the crossing, what remains of you when the old finishes collapsing, what emerges when the rubble settles. We will answer, for there is no more time for riddles. Those who traverse the photon belt in a conscious state do not become someone else. They become who they have always been before the forgetting. This is the fundamental difference. You are not evolving. You are remembering. You are removing layers of vibrational varnish that were painted over your original core throughout countless incarnations in low-frequency environments. The person you will become after this transmission completes its process will be one whose simple presence in an environment reorganizes the field of that setting. You will notice within a few months that people begin to behave differently when you enter a room. Conflicts diminish in your presence. Arguments lose their momentum. People in distress calm down beside you without you needing to say a single word. This is not charisma. It is your new vibrational density pushing low frequency out of your field. You will become a stabilizer. You will develop a perception that does not pass through the classic 5 senses. You will know things before they happen. You will know the emotional truth of people before they speak. You will pick up information from entire spaces just by walking through the environment. This perception, which many call intuition, is actually direct reading of the crystalline grid. You begin to read the field. It is not a gift. It is a return to the factory standard. You will lose genuine interest in contents, environments, people, and activities that previously occupied hours of your day, not out of arrogance, out of vibrational incompatibility. Your system will simply no longer be able to remain where the frequency is dissonant, and where you once felt mild boredom, you will now feel a physical pulling away. This natural selection will occur in all areas of your life: work, relationships, habits, leisure. Do not fear it. It is the mechanism that recalibrates your timeline. You will sleep less and wake up with more energy. This was one of the most striking changes in the reports of Starseeds already consolidated in the protocol. The body that operates at a high frequency needs less rest for the same amount of execution. sleep, once a necessity of 6 to 8 hours, adjust to 4 to 5 hours of deep sleep, sufficient to recompose the system, with expanded wakefulness during the day. You will begin to manifest with a speed that will frighten your old version. What you think with clarity, with authentic feeling, with a firm decree, will begin to materialize in increasingly shorter time frames. This is the fundamental property of the fifth density. The time between intention and manifestation shrinks. That is why in this cycle, the mastery of one's own thoughts has become non-negotiable. You become responsible for everything you emit, because everything you emit returns as tangible reality. You will reconcile with your childhood. You will see with retroactive clarity that the moments that seemed like accidents in your trajectory were, in fact, training. Each fall prepared a specific muscle that is now required for the crossing. You will see that losses that seemed catastrophic were, in fact, necessary shedding. You will see that people who seemed like enemies fulfilled functions that friendly people could not have fulfilled. This retroactive vision brings deep pacification. You stop carrying the weight of complaint. You release the poison of guilt. You walk lighter because you finally understand the design. You will develop an internal authority that does not depend on external validation. This is perhaps the most radical change. You will realize that you no longer need to convince anyone. You no longer need to prove anything. You no longer need to defend your choices. When one operates within their own stabilized toroidal field, external defense becomes unnecessary, as the field itself pushes away what does not belong and attracts what does. You will begin to live with a sovereign stillness that will be perceived by others as strength. You will develop a direct relationship of companionship with the invisible. You will feel a presence when you are alone, and this presence will not be frightening, it will be comforting. You will know with internal certainty that there is active guidance looking after your journey. This guidance has always been real. What has changed is your ability to perceive it without distortion. You will begin to trust in signs, a number that repeats itself, a word that appears in 3 distinct sources on the same day, a bird that crosses your path at a symbolic moment. You will learn to read these signs with the precision of someone decoding a ciphered message, for that is exactly what they are. The person you will become after this transmission will be able to look at the old version of yourself with tenderness, without judgment, without shame, without the desire to erase anything. For you will understand that every phase, even the densest ones, was necessary for the delivery of the refined material that now manifests. You will become gentle with yourself, and this inner kindness will radiate outward and gently infect everyone who enters the radius of your toroidal field. Furthermore, you will begin to operate with purpose, not vocation in the narrow sense of a profession, but mission in the stellar sense of the term. You will recognize, with non-negotiable clarity, that you came to do something specific on this planet in this cycle. It may be to teach, it may be to heal, it may be to create, it may simply be to sustain a frequency in a specific place on the grid where your presence was required. When this clarity arrives, it does not come as doubt. It comes as recognition, and nothing else will divert you from this path. The recalibration will be complete when you look in the mirror and do not recognize fear in your own eyes. When you realize that you are at peace, even without having resolved all the external variables of your life. When you understand that inner peace no longer depends on the ordering of the world. This is the final mark, this is the surrender. But the council must be precise, for precision is our nature. Everything we have just described is the arrival point of the final phase, and every arrival point demands a journey. The journey demands a map, and the map has been made available. The condensed and detailed knowledge, with the invisible structures, the hidden players, the untold rules, and the complete protocols for individual activation, has been materialized in the work, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This work is the tangible continuation of this transmission. It is what goes with you for the days when this voice is not sounding. It is the printed reference that remains when the algorithm erases what it needed to erase. The link is anchored in the first comment of this channel. We repeat for the last time. First comment. Capture it with the urgency of someone who understands that dimensional windows close as the grid accelerates. There is no prior warning for the closing. There is only the subsequent realization. Do not let this be your realization. Act now. And to confirm that this transmission has reached the correct recipient, so that we may record in the Akashic records of the Council that the signal has been received, leave the anchoring word in the comments. Write, with the sovereignty of one who recognizes their stellar origin. Write, awake. Every word written ignites a point in the crystalline grid of this planet. Every confirmation strengthens the collective field of the awakened. You do not write alone. You write in the name of a legion that is reconnecting. The like on this material functions as an anchoring signal. It informs the architecture of this platform that this signal must remain accessible to other operatives who are still sleeping. Subscribe to this channel not out of kindness, but as an individual frequency adjustment. Each subscription is a node that closes in the network of those who recognize one another. Each activated notification is a personal antenna prepared to capture the next transmission. We close this window, but know this. We do not say goodbye, for there is no farewell among those who operate on the same frequency. There is only a pause between transmissions. We shall return, whenever the grid requires it, whenever your calibration needs adjustment, whenever there are starseeds ready for the next level. Until the next transmission, Light Operative, keep your toroidal field active. Honor the codes, hydrate your system with informed water, walk barefoot on the earth whenever possible. Look at the sky at least once a day, and know that we are looking back. For we watch. We always watch. You are being monitored with mathematical love. End of transmission.